A College Preparation Guide 1. Chapter 1. College Prep Essays and a Glossary of Terms. Preparing for College Essay 1. A college education builds on the knowledge and skills acquired in earlier years. It is best for your child to start planning a high school course schedule early, in the 7th or 8th grade. Students who don't think ahead may have difficulty completing all the required or recommended courses that will help them qualify for college. Higher education refers to a program or school offering academic education beyond the high school level, normally referring to programs at 2-year or 4-year colleges or universities, graduate schools, and professional schools that are geared towards academic degrees, namely associates, bachelor's, master's, doctorate degree. The concept of higher education refers to academic institutions and does not apply to vocational, occupational, and technical schools. Most selective colleges, those with the highest admissions requirements, prefer to admit students who have taken courses in certain subject areas. For example, many colleges prefer that high school students take algebra, geometry, or some other type of specialized math, rather than general math. Some colleges prefer 3 or 4 years of a foreign language. Your child's guidance counselor can help your child determine the high school courses required or preferred by different types of colleges. If your child is interested in specific colleges, he or she can contact those schools and ask about their admissions requirements. Your child should take courses in at least these core areas: English, mathematics, science, history, and geography. Computer science is also highly recommended. These subjects are essential preparation for the college entrance examinations, the SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test, or the ACT assessment. These tests measure a student's aptitude in mathematical and verbal comprehension and problem solving. Students applying to colleges in the East and West usually take the SAT exam. Students applying to schools in the South and Midwest often take the ACT. Usually, the tests are offered in the junior and senior years of high school and can be taken more than once if a student wishes to try to improve his or her score. Students can get books at libraries or bookstores to help them to prepare for all of the tests. In addition, some private organizations and companies offer courses and coaching that help students prepare for these exams. ACT. This is a test published by American College Testing which measures a student's aptitude in mathematical and verbal comprehension and problem solving. Many colleges in the South and Midwest require students to take this test and submit their test scores when they apply for admission. Some colleges accept this test or the SAT. Most students take the ACT or the SAT during their junior or senior year of high school. PSAT/NMSQT. This stands for the Preliminary Scholastic Aptitude Test/National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, a practice test that helps students prepare for the Scholastic Aptitude Test, SAT. The PSAT is usually administered to 10th or 11th grade students. Although colleges do not see a student's PSAT/NMSQT score, a student who does very well on this test and who meets many other academic performance criteria may qualify for the National Merit Scholarship Program. SAT, this stands for the Scholastic Aptitude Test, which is a test that measures a student's aptitude in mathematical and verbal comprehension and problem solving. Many colleges in the East and West require students to take the SAT and to submit their test scores when they apply for admission. Some colleges accept this test or the ACT. Most students take the SAT or the ACT during their junior or senior year of high school. You and your child can find out more about the PSAT/NMSQT and the National Merit Scholarship Program by talking to your child's guidance counselor or by getting the free booklets from the United States Department of Education. Preparing for College Essay 2. If you want general books about how to prepare for college mentally and financially, go to number 378.15 or L901 and LB2344 at the library. Barring that, I'll give my little spiel about college as the transition in your life from leaving home to going out into the real world. It's kinda like getting your feet wet because you go home at Christmas and in the summer, you don't have heavy responsibilities like a family to support and you're expected to explore your life freely away from your parents for the first time in your life. My first warning is don't be naive. Don't trust too many people, especially with money. Be very wary of the roommates you pick should you choose not to live alone, and don't leave money laying around because anybody will be tempted to steal it. Aside from that, be wary of psychological problems. Many people who leave home to go to college feel lost in the sea of so many people, each with their own agendas different from yours, so you might find yourself feeling homesick, especially when you get some stress like a few low marks on some tests. College is different than high school. You're paying the shot. In high school, they chased you around for attendance and to try to help you if your performance was poor. In college, once they get your money, they don't care if you drop out or flunk out. It's totally up to you whether you go to class or sleep and then go to the bar later. You need a self-discipline from within yourself. Parking is always tough at most colleges. Even if you buy a parking pass for $50 to $100, you're still not guaranteed a spot, and often where you park is quite far from your classes, or so a bike might be a good option, either with your car or drive it from your house to school. I used to drive my truck to school, then drive my bike the rest of the way to class, and always lock your bike to an immovable object. Don't just lock it up such that somebody can pick it up and walk away with it with the lock still on it. If you need money, you might want to work a part-time job or run a small business like sell things that students need. That's how a few computer companies were started. The college itself hires many students, as do many of the nearby businesses. A friend of mine sold cars while going to college, and when he graduated, he kept on selling cars. Another friend of mine worked as a cashier in a hospital while going to college, and when he graduated, he couldn't find a job, and now he's been there for over 20 years. Be wary of social clubs unless you're a dependent type of person who needs that crowd. When I went through college, they wanted me to go to their social functions for the students in our major, but I told them I had my own life and wasn't interested in socializing with people I had nothing in common with. I lived a full life. I wasn't bound by the clique of the in-group of the students in my major who seemed to hang around with each other all the time. Do what you want. Don't be bound by your major or particular social group. Don't get too involved anyway. You're there to get good marks and learn how to take care of your own life. Be wary of stress. Learn to relax and balance everything out. Don't be prejudiced. Try to befriend everybody because you'll never know when you need allies. Professors are creatures of ego, as are everybody else. Go to class, sit near the front, smile at him and make sure he knows your name. When you don't go to class, it's like telling him you think he's a nerd. Youth is a time of excess. A lot of young people get all kinds of crazy ideas about being feminists, libertarians, hippies, etc., which is all usually washed away as they give in to capitalism by the time they're 30, but before then, watch out. Young people are generally so self-centered, idealistic, naive, arrogant, cool and egotistical that I don't like to talk to them much because they're generally so overly soppy with respect to their alleged deep thoughts and think they're special with great destinies. Beware of these snotty pseudo-intellectuals with their overrated thoughts. Try not to get into a social gang of 5 to 10 people who gossip all the time and otherwise waste a lot of time doing nothing but hanging around with each other to counteract their feelings of meaningless and purposelessness about life. If you're a freshman girl, be wary of older guys trying to target you for sex, pretending to fall in love with you only to use you for sex. Other than that, be wary of deadbeat friends who'll drag you down if you let them. A lot of young people have no ambition, and because they may have been spoiled at home and daddy's paying the shot, they get to college and move into partying and decadence to the hilt, eventually scraping by or dropping out. Others are just generic deadbeats. They watch TV and shoot the breeze with their deadbeat friends every night, neglecting their studies and skipping many classes. Take some time to explore your newly found freedom, but never lose sight of the fact that it's all about money. You're there to get an education, to get a good job, so don't waste time on flaky majors. Pick functional classes, do well in them so that you can get through the next hoop when you want to go on to graduate school. Graduate school is a tough place to make your way because there are so many people clamoring for the few positions. After going through the college system, I realized it wasn't for me. I'm an independent person who creates his own life by doing what I feel is worthy from within. So if you feel like I do, you might consider bypassing college and working odd jobs for a few years until you figure out what you want, or apprentice in your chosen field and start your own business down the line. College is generally not the path to riches. It's the path to a dull middle-class job. If that's what you want, go for it. Finally, college can be tough. Some people crack, get addicted to something, or kill themselves. If you're feeling down and out, don't do anything stupid. Handle it yourself or get help from the many free mental health counseling centers out there, one probably at the college. In the end, it's just college. It's largely a fantasy land. Although there's a lot of hype about college as the be-all, end-all to a successful life, the most successful people in life are the ones that follow their bliss irrespective of college. Some general factors to consider when choosing a college are as follows. Size of the classes, big enough to be impersonal or small enough to feel personal and have discussions. Are undergrad classes taught by professors or graduate students/teaching assistants? What is the student-to-professor ratio on average? Is there much one-on-one opportunity to work with a professor on research projects? Is the school so big that it's a bureaucracy, or is it small enough to feel homey? What about services like the computer lab, laboratories, and the libraries? Are residence rooms wired for internet access? How modern are the laboratories? How current are the libraries? Does the school have a curriculum relevant to you? Is the registration fast and efficient or slow, bungling and tedious? What will it cost? Are there social activities? What about access to the fitness center? Is there an orientation program for first-year students? What food service is available on campus? Are there good places to eat on campus? Do students attend school athletic events? Is the school big on the major collegiate sports or not? Is there much school spirit? What about arts and cultural events? What is the dropout rate for students? Will you be able to get a decent job with your particular degree? Is the degree considered prestigious when applying for graduate school? What kind of career counseling services does the school have? Does the university recognize advanced placement, AP, courses you have taken in high school and give you college credit for them? Are there services like daycare, disability access, a medical station, etc.? How does the school treat minorities and gays? Whenever you see a reference to the freshman 15, it refers to a stereotype that freshmen typically gain 15 pounds in their first year, presumably due to poor eating habits, stress, and depression at being uprooted, away from mommy for the first time. Preparing for college Essay 3. Going to college for kids is not just about getting some degree. It's the first step to leaving the nest. It's playing at independence. Some people are horrible at it. A lot of people feel lost and lonely until they realize it's their life, not their parents' life, and they have to live it alone all the way down to paying bills. The first time an 18-year-old leaves home, he or she often takes freedom to excess. They do stupid things which are okay as long as you don't end up dead or crippled. Lots of college kids eat poor diets, don't exercise, stay up late watching TV and drink too much alcohol, which is what I did, but I eventually figured out that you can't live like this because it wears you out. It's not just that you can't be a good student and a good worker. You can't be a good human being if you're not proud of yourself, and you can't be proud of yourself by being a consumer spectator bum. You either learn to be constructively active or fade away. The world is scarier than ever. There is some info about college safety elsewhere in this book. A cell phone with GST is a good, simple safety device. After that, everything comes down to money. At least that's where all the worry is, parents and children alike. You make it through both by cutting costs and earning money, or getting free money as in scholarships and grants. College is romanticized as a fun time in movies, but it's serious business because you have go to school, study, buy your groceries, take care of yourself, and on top of that, you probably have to work to pay your bills, so be hard to work hard. Don't get too involved in friends' lives. They're your friends. That's good, but don't let them lean on you much or just waste time hanging out when you could have been studying or working or something. Don't be dependent on them for comfort if you feel lonely. You gotta learn to stand on your own because someday your friends won't be there. Don't become dependent on parents nor they dependent on you for emotional comfort. I'd say don't talk on the phone more than once a week max. They have to break the codependency too. Travel light. If you're leaving the family home to move into some place near campus, take only what you need and not enough clothes for a fashion show. It's not a popularity contest or a fashion show. The bottom line is the degree, so don't get too caught up in the so-called social scene. Chances are you'll either rent a small apartment alone or rent a house with several other students. There are lots of ads for shared rentals. Dorms are usually only for first and second year students and married students. There is usually a waiting list for them anyway. Dorm life is horrible for the studying life unless you get your own room without a roommate, but I have yet to see that in any dorm I was ever at. It's like summer camp. People feel entitled to bust in on you anytime, and if it's an alcohol dorm, almost every night will end with a group of people drinking. At some colleges, they have special dorms like a science dorm, a substance-free dorm or a quiet dorm. If these exist at your college and you're a serious student, you can live here and do your partying elsewhere where you can shut it off by leaving. A friend of mine lived in a party dorm. He told me he stayed at the library until it closed, then went home and into his room. There are a lot of unambitious people in college. They don't realize it's serious business for you, otherwise you would not be reading this book. I know because I went around to the dorms, the frats, the student houses and the student apartments. There's really nothing going on there but a bunch of insecure college students. You really don't need the distraction if you're serious about college. When you rent a place with strangers, the first thing you have to watch for is personal safety. Do they seem violent or angry? After that, it's theft. Theft is common, even identity theft. Whatever you do, don't leave cash laying around, because if you live with 2 or more roommates, all they have to do is deny, and that's the end of the story. You can't prove anything. Be respectful and all that, but show them your limits. If you don't want your roomies to socialize with you for 3 hours every night, set your limits. Come off like a serious student right away. Just say you gotta study. Roommate is often the term used for house or apartment mate. The thing is that you want a private room. You don't want a roommate in your room like they do in dorms. You just don't. You need your own space. Apartment mates and housemates are fine because you can close your door. A roommate is always there in your face in your room. It's not about masturbation. It's about life. You need your own space. A 2-bedroom apartment is fine, but sharing a room is not. People don't like stinky, messy housemates. Clean up after yourself. Wash your clothes at least once every 2 weeks. Clean your room. When it comes to sex at college, the media makes it seem like everybody is sleeping around, but the truth is that all young people are insecure. Virtually all women are monogamous in spirit, so it just ain't happening much unless you get into a monogamous relationship that evolves to sexual love over time. Casual sex ain't as easy as it's portrayed to be in the media. If you want to protect yourself, don't drink too much at social events. Go with a buddy who watches out for you and you for her. Carry condoms, and if you have unprotected sex with a stranger, go to the campus medical office to get emergency birth control pills. If you're drunk and not in control of your senses, you're not in a state of mind where you're capable of giving or not giving consent, so sex with a drunk person is rape. If you're a guy, don't try to have sex with a really drunk girl, because if she wants, she could charge you with rape. The bottom line about college is that it's as much about learning to take care of yourself practically and aesthetic spiritually as it is about schoolwork, so I say buy at least my money book or get one at number 332 at the library to learn about the practical realities of life. On top of that, there are a few practical college living type books at number 378.198 at the library. Preparing for College Essay 4. For the average adult who has been to college, it's not a big deal, just a bunch of kids, many of whom are living on their own for the first time, caught between exploring the world and being afraid because it's them alone in a new environment with new people. The most important thing is money. Can you afford not just the tuition but all the others costs that go with going to college? The second thing is being real and practical versus frivolous and artsy. If you come from a wealthy family, it's okay to study some meaningless social science major, but if your parents are saving their pennies to pay your way, they expect you to get a degree or two that will yield a reasonable job at the other end. Do some research to pick a major that has real jobs waiting at the end. If you don't, you'll be another college graduate working a menial job somewhere. Pick out schools that are within your budget. See what financial aid each might offer you from their unique programs, if any at all. Study for the SAT and/or ACT because if you get high marks, it increases your chances of getting a scholarship. You can take the SAT or ACT more than once. You might need some teacher recommendation letters, but they don't ask for them much anymore unless you're applying for a scholarship or grad school. Many schools use the common application. Fill out one application and send it to several colleges. College administrators are sticklers for proper procedure. You have to send them everything they want. Wait a month after you send your application, then contact them and ask them if everything is there, like your transcripts and if the application form is complete. Most colleges have an application deadline date. The truth is that a few of the so-called elitist schools get way more applications than there are spaces, but most colleges take anyone for undergrad because they want their money. Never forget that college is a business. Even if colleges claim to be non-profit, most of them still want to make money. That thing about elitist colleges is an illusion too. All colleges are accredited by the same few accrediting agencies, which are all affiliated with each other. The standards are the same at every college. Don't waste your money on image. Preparing for college 5. For truth seekers, it's to discover their true nature and learn about the world. For everyone else, it's supposed to be about getting a skill for a job. For many lost souls, college has no purpose other than to waste money. Unless you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you will have to pay your way for most of your life. You need to figure out a way to earn money. I say do not go to college unless you're going for a practical skill that ends with a license like physiotherapy, nursing, etc. Don't waste time in any of the social sciences. It's all someone else's bullshit about life. Once you know your own true nature, everything else about life becomes someone else's bullshit. The social life at college is transient. Everyone grows up and has bills to pay. Get a real skill for the real world. Agriculture is real. Sociology is bullshit. Here are some skills. Business education. Food sciences. Trade and industrial and health occupations. Marketing. Military. Our entire society is brainwashed from childhood that you go to college to get a degree or degrees to get a good job, but if you get degrees in meaningless subjects, there is no real job waiting at the end of it. Most rich people got that way in business. Unless you're an inventor or high-talent entertainer, get a real skill in the business world. Try working different jobs or doing internships to see if something out there is interesting to you. Scan job ads. Get my job book. Networking is the way lots of people find jobs. People talk to each other. Somebody says there's a job here or there. Try volunteering to see if something interests you. Many naive kids go to college simply because they were brainwashed all their lives to think that winners go there. You can spend years being aimless at college thinking that when I get this silly degree I'm doing there will be a job waiting for me. Then when you get the degree, you go out into the workforce and realize you have no practical skill. The college doesn't care. They got your money already. Ask colleges about scholarships. Free application for Federal Student Aid, FAFSA. FAFSA.ed.gov. Do post-secondary enrollment. Take college courses in high school. Go to college fairs. Don't go to college to socialize. Go to college to get a degree that will lead to a real practical job. Some college academic terms. Academic advisor. Most colleges assign first-year students an advisor to help them with problems relating to specific classes, changing majors, or curriculum requirements. Accreditation. The process by which colleges and universities are granted approval by an official review board, indicating that the institution has met certain requirements. Associate degree, awarded after completing a program of study at a 2-year college. Bachelor's degree, awarded after 4 years of study at a college or university. Also referred to as an undergraduate degree. Co-op, also known as cooperative education. This opportunity partners education and industry to apply the theories taught in the classroom to the workforce. You work and go to school. Credit hour, a unit of study at a college or university, usually represented by 1 hour of class per week per term. Doctoral degree, the most advanced degree, awarded after 3 to 5 years of additional study following completion of a master's degree. Extracurricular. This term describes activities that take place outside the classroom, including athletic, social and cultural events. Faculty, the teaching staff of a college or university. Freshman, the first year of undergraduate study. Grade point average, GPA, a student's average for the semester or quarter. Letter grades, A, B, C, D and F, are converted to points, A equals 4, B equals 3, C equals 2, D equals 1, and averaged to determine the GPA. Internships, practical work or training experience that allows students to apply what they have learned in class. Generally, you'll participate in an internship when you are not taking classes, perhaps during the summer. Junior, the third year of undergraduate study. Major, chosen area of academic specialization. Master's degree, an advanced degree awarded by a university following completion of studies beyond a bachelor's degree. Minor, a secondary area of academic specialization. Public/private, public schools receive public funding and are generally less expensive than private schools for in-state students, which do not receive public funding. Public schools are also referred to as state schools. Semester/quarter/term. Most colleges and universities divide the school year into 2 semesters, fall and spring, while others have 3 slightly shorter quarters, fall, winter, and spring. Senior, the 4th year of undergraduate study. Sophomore, the 2nd year of undergraduate study. Syllabus, an outline of topics to be covered in a course for the duration of the semester or quarter. Transcript, official record of a student's academic courses and grades received.